All right, ladies and gentlemen, so today I will give you a poetry analysis of Robert Frost's Home Burial. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Meirizka Cyntia Putri with student numbers 20211141018. And here you go. Enjoy. So the first one is about the poem. This is the introduction. So Robert Frost was an American poet who used everyday words and settings to portray authentic New England life, and he spoke at John F. Kennedy's inauguration in 1961 and received 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his writing. One of Frost's longest poems, Home Burial, debuted in 1914, and the poem's main theme is the danger of suffering of misunderstanding. The two main characters, a husband and a wife who have recently lost a child, handle loss extremely differently and are unable to comprehend or appreciate one another's grieving process. So here is the summary. The wife is shown in the poem's opening line standing at the top of a staircase and gazing out of a window at her child burial. At the bottom of the stairs, her husband is puzzled as to what she is seeing and why she has suddenly grown so upset. Like he saw her face become retarded. And the wife tries to leave the house since she is annoyed by her husband's inattention. And he can not understand either why she is upset with him for expressing his sadness in a different way. The spouse begs her to stay and talk to him about her grief. Instead, the woman who is inconsolable over their deceased kid lashes out at him and believing he has no compassion for them. The gulf between the couple persists despite the husband's limited acceptance of her age. She ends up leave the house, wanted to go to her friends, as he yelled that he will bring her back by force. In the poem, their child death and the dissolution of a marriage are both described as tragedy. Although the couple's issues were sparked by the death of their kid, both characters are unable to comprehend how their partners are expressing their grief. Therefore, the haunting image of the son's death and their inability to keep the marriage resulted in the home burial. So the phrase home burial is derived from the child's death and their inability to keep the marriage safe, and it creates the major theme of his poem, which are sorrow and tragedy. So the second content of this presentation is about literary devices. The first and the second literary devices are consonants and assonants. Consonants repeat the same consonant sounds within a group of words, and a side took example is the repetition of air, as we can see, looking back over her shoulder at some fear. It gives a repetition of the consonant sound. And the second one is assonance. Assonance repeats the same vowel sounds in the same line. I take the example, the repetition of a, as in making the gravel leap and leap in air. The third and the fourth one is alliteration and imagery. Alliteration itself occurs when two or more words are linked that share the same first consonant sound. In this case, I take the example, the repetition of L, leap up like that, and land so lightly. And the last one, the fourth one, is about imagery. Imagery uses vivid description that appeals to a reader's senses to create an image or idea in their head. I use two imagery. The first one is auditory, and the second one is visual. The auditory, I took the example for the auditory one. Then you came in, I heard your rambling voice. The rambling voice that she heard is an example of the auditory image, which she uses her ears, her sounds. And the second one is visual imagery. If you do, she was opening the door wider. The phrase opening the door wider can be imagined, so this is the example of visual imagery. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all from me today. Thank you for your kind attention. See you.